Hello and welcome to the On Pointless Podcast. I'm your host, Curt. This episode has a special guest, Rain. It's a little bit stormy outside, so the mics might pick that up. Our intro question for this week is, what is your favorite one-syllable nickname? Chara?
My brother always had a friend, Brian, and your brother, Brian, and I refuse to call him Brian because I think it's too much like brain, so I always called him Bry.
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 I like it. Bry's a good name. Alex?
Axe is pretty cool.
Yeah, Axe is a pretty good nickname. I don't know if I know anybody who's
I know one guy named Axe. He's okay.
What is it short for?
Axel, I think.
But Axel's already a cool name, too.
Yeah, it is. That's true. Or Al. Al could be cool.
Says Alex, who has girlfriend Alla.
Oh.
And girlfriend Alla.
I'm going to have to go with Stip.
Stip?
Short for Stipley.
Who's Stip and whose name's Stipley?
Well, I realized that a nickname could really be anything you think of, so I decided to go for Stip.
Stip. Okay, so you don't actually know a Stip.
No.
I guess that wasn't one of the stipulations of the question, so... And I think my favorite nickname is Buzz. I think Buzz is a great name. Just like, hey, Buzz, how's it going? It's got Z's in it. I don't know. Buzzdrick?
Like Buzz Aldrin.
Yeah. His name wasn't actually Buzz, was it? Or was it Buzz?
I think it was a nickname.
Was. Oh.
For Buzzerald.
Conflicting opinions already. So our first question for this week. If you could serve on a jury for any crime, what would you pick?
Like, you would kind of want it to be iconic. You would think if you're having to put the time in. I mean, there's two ways you could go. Either something that's like, I don't know what the smallest jury crime would be. Like a parking ticket's not going to have a jury, I don't think.
If you had enough parking tickets, it might. But then it might be interesting because it's like...
The white whale.
Yeah, like, you don't know how to park. What is this guy's story? The most boring is probably something like tax evasion.
Some of the tax evasion stuff's pretty interesting.
Yeah, because I think there's two different ways you can go about it. You can go with something that's very simple and boring so that you're just in and out of there fast. Like, you're in there for like a 1 or 2 day trial, that's fine. Or something really, like, interesting that you can sink your teeth into.
I'd go for the meaningless one that won't affect other people's lives as much. Because I don't want to be like saying someone's guilty and then you find out they're innocent, or saying someone's innocent and then they end up doing something guilty later. Right,
because if you're serving on a jury and the maximum sentence is like 5 days, you're like, look, even if I got it wrong, it costs them 5 days. It's not a big deal. Mm-hmm. But if it's like a life sentence and you screwed that up, you kind of took someone's life away.
Yeah, I don't want to be a part of any juries like that.
Especially if you get it wrong, but they're also a bad person, because then they're going to have a vendetta. And the jury's going to be one of the first people they come for.
Yeah.
Does a jury have to be unanimous? Does everyone have to agree? Or is it a vote?
I think they have to be unanimous.
Otherwise you have a hung jury, and then you have to retrial if you can't get the jury to agree on something.
Yeah, because the jury, they go and deliberate, and they have to come up with a unanimous decision, and like if they can't, they keep trying to do it until they come up with a unanimous decision, and if they can't, then you have a mistrial, and then they have to find a new jury and do a new trial.
Well, I first thought of the O.J. Simpson one, just because that's an iconic one.
I'd say the most iconic trial.
It's a pretty fun one.
Yeah, and they got
Full
it
of
wrong.
surprises. Yeah.
Allegedly.
Yes. So that's like the reverse of Chara's scenario, in which they didn't convict the person that they should have.
No, I said if you don't convict the guilty party, you let them go, but then they commit more crimes.
But if you convict a non-guilty party, that's bad too. So now it's just like a high-pressure decision you have to make.
It's very high-pressure decisions.
But it's not so bad because it's unanimous. So then you feel like, well, everyone else agreed with me.
Yeah, what if you just went in and you went, I'm not going to listen to any part of this trial. I'm not going to pay any attention. Whatever the guy on the right of me says, I'm just going to agree with him.
Or if the guy on the right's a lunatic.
It doesn't matter. You've already tied your sail to that boat. So, like, whatever that person says, that's who you're going to agree with.
And that's what everyone will end up picking.
Then no. Just no.
Parking tickets it is.
Parking tickets. Yeah.
You know what I'd like? Somebody who stole a boat. I want to be on the jury of somebody who steals a yacht or a boat. I want grand theft boat.
And then a boat joyride.
Yeah, because, like, I feel like poor criminals wouldn't steal boats. They'd be more likely to steal a car. So you'd have to be, like, kind of rich and well off already to decide to steal a boat.
Yeah, like a lawyer who's been debarred and is on their way down, you know.
Exactly.
Steals their boat back.
Yeah, he's been debarred, so he debarges somebody.
Or it could be like that Gilmore Girls episode. She steals the boat. Then she has to do 300 community service hours. But don't worry, her boyfriend doesn't have to do anything.
Sounds like the law.
Yep. Sounds right.
That's the law.
I like the part where Chara said, like that Gilmore Girls episode, and then looked around the room as if any of us had any idea what she was talking about.
It's like
Blank
one of the
faces.
last ones I actually watched, so I remember it.
Okay, so we got parking tickets and stealing a boat, maybe some tax evasion, and then Ella might want to murder.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She does want to murder. She wants the
Murder.
most iconic murder.
That's
Yeah.
true. Well,
Then
because
you can tell everyone, I was on the jury. Actually, no, then you'd feel bad because everyone would say, why'd you choose that?
Yeah.
Actually, and are you not allowed to tell people?
when you're sequestered, actually, in any case, you're not allowed to like tell people or know anything about the case, and then you're sequestered. But after it's over, you're allowed to say you were on a
Okay.
jury. You just can't talk about it during.
Yeah.
This is kind of a side topic or off topic. Okay, OJ clearly didn't get arrested for the murder.
He got arrested.
Sorry.
He didn't get convicted.
He didn't get convicted of the murder, but he clearly resisted arrest. Like, he ran away from police. Did he not serve any jail time for that?
I think they might have given him time served or whatever for all the time he was in custody.
Oh, okay, that makes sense. Because I kind of forgot about that aspect, but, like, that's definitely a crime.
Yeah, and then I love that he went with a posse and armed robbed a bunch of his memorabilia back and got caught for that.
It's like the lawyer stealing his boat back.
Exactly.
If you had to put on the Super Bowl halftime show, what would your act be?
Well, I'd hire Beyonce.
No. You have to be in the show.
I didn't say I wasn't on stage, but I'd hire Beyonce. I'd hire Bruno Mars, because he did a good show. I would not hire Justin Timberlake.
What about the Black Eyed Peas?
No.
No.
Would you do, like, live action karaoke where Beyonce's, like, under the stage singing and you're holding the mic singing Beyonce karaoke?
No. It'd be Beyonce doing the performance, and I will do the karaoke. I'll be the singer. She'll be the performer.
Oh, so
So Beyonce like, is out there with all the attitude. She's Sasha Fiercing it all over.
And it's your voice.
And it's my voice. And everyone's going like, what went wrong?
That'd be amazing.
Yeah, that would be
Especially-
pretty
That's
incredible.
the perfect one.
Especially since I don't know any of the words.
Oh, yeah, of course. You'd be like, all the women who are alone, women who are alone. Everything's in a box to the right. You don't know the words, but you know the opposites, apparently. That's my reality.
Oh, I don't think you can beat that.
yeah. I mean, my first thought would be to, like, have good music, but that's not the point of it, so it would be tough. Like, I'm putting on the halftime show. Am I in the position
have to
where
be in
I
it?
make money off of this? Like, I need to sell the ad space?
No, you're just putting on the halftime show as in, like, you're in the halftime show. Like, they've hired Alex to do the halftime show for the Super Bowl.
So what
Okay.
are you doing?
I'm putting my band out there for the whole time
Oh,
and
yeah.
taking that publicity to the house.
Yeah, that's some pretty good free publicity.
Good idea. I think I would dress up in some kind of costume where you can't see who I am, like a tiger or something.
Yeah, just dress up as, like, an animal. Would
Yeah.
there be other animals there?
Yeah, I think there'd be lots of animals, a whole menagerie.
You'd be the left tiger.
Left
Yes,
tiger.
That's what I was
Yeah,
actually
the kitty
picturing.
tiger.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just do, like, a live-action
Do crazy
zoo.
dances.
But, like, a
Yeah.
human zoo.
Yeah.
Yeah. Katy
like
Perry had a good show. She was very nervous doing it, you could see, but she had a big performance.
Yeah.
Compared to
A spectacle.
A spectacle.
But she did a spectacle in the right way.
Yeah.
Like, the Black Eyed Peas tried to do a spectacle with theirs, and it was just bad. Because they had, like, the glow-up laser suits and, like, all this stuff, but it was forced. Whereas
really
Katy
remember.
Perry was just, like, super colorful and bright.
Yeah.
Like, it kind of reminded me of, like, if you go to, like, the Lion King on Broadway thing, where
Yeah.
everything is just, like, a big, over-the-top version of what it is.
But she has that type of music too.
Yeah.
And I mean, that's what the whole event is.
Yeah.
Or at least, everything around it.
Attempts to be.
So I came into this question with an answer in mind, and then as you guys were talking, I thought of a way better one. I would go out to center field. There would be no stage, and I would mime for 15 minutes. And I would just try to get onto the box, and I'd pull the rope, and I would just do...
And what's the other 14 minutes?
If you could recast any movie role, who would you pick for what role? Okay, my first thought with this question, as you guys try to think about an answer, is I would have loved if Nicolas Cage played Dumbledore.
But just for the Order of the Phoenix.
I was thinking for all of them, but yeah, maybe just for... Yeah, actually, it'd be even better if it was only for one movie.
Yeah, for the Goblet of Fire.
Why call it a fire?
Because in the book, when Harry's name comes out of the goblet in the book, it's like Dumbledore calmly asks Harry, "Did you put your name in it?" But in the movie, he just comes in and starts shaking him. "Oh, why did you put your name on it?"
Oh yeah, because he's so angry.
He got angry at that. So the Nicolas Cage version, I assume, would just go even more over the top than what the movie guy did.
Of course, maximum violence always. That's his slogan.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Oh, it's a slogan.
Hey kid, why'd you put your name in it? I don't know if that
And
was...
then like karate chop him.
Yeah, he'd probably karate chop him. And then he'd do some high kicks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Those are both things missing from the Harry Potter franchise.
I don't think there's a single high kick in any Harry Potter movie.
Or a karate chop.
Yeah. What gives? J.K. Rowling, what's up?
Yeah.
Wow.
Okay, but something other than Harry Potter.
Lord of the Rings was just so perfect.
Yeah.
I can't think of anyone I'd sub.
My problem is every movie, like when you say Lord of the Rings, I'm immediately like, oh, Nicolas Cage is Gandalf. I'm just turning Nicolas Cage into wizards.
He's not even that old, is he? I guess he's older now. Is he wizard old, though? Nicolas Cage?
No, I mean, he was in The Sorcerer's Apprentice,
Oh, yeah.
but
Yeah.
he was a sorcerer, not a wizard. I feel like wizards are older than sorcerers.
That's true. You need a long white beard.
Yeah, I don't know. I can't think of any movie that... I never notice a movie that I'm like, oh, man, that guy's not right for that role, or...
Yeah.
Yeah.
Imagine if this person was playing it. It's like, no. Most of the time, like, you won't notice until you see the other person as it, but...
For sure, but there's some that you can just, like, picture.
Like, that's not Nicolas Cage, because that's obviously just a comedic cop-out.
Okay, well,
How
I mean,
about Legolas as Harry Potter?
Orlando Bloom as Harry Potter?
like, in the
Yes.
kid's clothing and trying to pretend he's a youth.
Yeah, with the long
I
blonde
think he
hair.
has a youthful face.
I think Orlando Bloom would have made a great Draco.
With the blonde wig.
Yeah, because he's got like he's got eyes that are kind of evil if you look at them the right way. Like he's always kind of like half squinting.
It's because he's looking so far into the distance.
Yes.
Yeah.
He's seeing them over the plains.
To Isengard.
No, it's not.
My problem is all of mine turn into comedy things because I'm just like, Keanu Reeves as Luke Skywalker, like.
Oh yeah, that's a movie. Of the Star Wars.
I'm trying to think of who a good Batman would be, but...
A good Batman.
Aragorn.
That's not the name of the actor.
Viggo Mortensen. There you go.
I like how now it's turned into
Who from the like?
who either fits into Harry Potter or who comes out of Lord of the Rings.
I think it's because I can only think of The Lord of the Rings as a movie.
That's the only
I
movie
can't
that's
think
ever
of
been
any
made.
other
What about
movie.
Daniel Radcliffe as Batman?
No.
Well, we're already going to have Robert Pattinson as Batman.
Really?
Yeah, but
Yeah,
Robert
he's the next one.
Robert Pattinson is a fantastic actor.
Have you seen the Lighthouse movie thing he's in?
No.
It's in black and white.
I'm sure it's
Have
fantastic.
you seen it?
I haven't seen it.
I just saw a trailer.
I had someone tell me about how great it's going to be like months ago, and I had never heard of it. But I've seen a trailer now.
He doesn't seem like he's going to be muscular enough. And if you make him too muscular, he's just going to look weird.
Yeah, Robert Pattinson's a good actor. He can do
I
anything.
didn't say he's not a good actor. I'm saying he doesn't have the build.
I
Does
think
he own any hockey pants?
You're only able to watch one type of YouTube video for the rest of your life. What do you pick?
I think music videos.
Interesting. Yeah, I mean, that is something that you regularly do is it's like, oh, what was that song? And you go
Yeah.
check it on YouTube.
It's miniature movies.
Yeah.
Yeah, and just like to have access to the music. I probably use YouTube for music more than anything else.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Last time I went to it, it was for music.
I watch lots of comedy clips, stand-up comedy stuff, or like from TV shows and stuff.
Yeah, I watch a lot of like movie clips where it'll be like, I don't need to watch the whole movie, but it's like, oh, there's that really good like 4-minute segment from whatever the movie is. Like, I've probably seen 3 hours of The Shawshank Redemption on YouTube since I last watched The Shawshank Redemption.
Just through clips.
It's just like, oh, I'll watch that scene again and like watch one scene at a time.
Yeah.
So I do a lot of that.
Yeah, because sometimes you think of a funny line and then you look it up and show everybody.
Yeah.
I like watching movie trailers because then you get to watch a movie in 2 minutes because nowadays they just give you the entire plot.
The trailers are always really exciting, too.
Yeah.
See, I hate movie trailers. I don't watch a trailer for any movie I'm going to see.
I watch it instead of watching the movie. It's like, I am mildly interested in this. Does it look like it's going to be fun? No.
I was very annoyed when we went to see Star Wars, before Star Wars, they showed a trailer for the Star Wars movie we were about to watch. And that just really annoyed me because
That's really weird.
I hadn't watched any trailers for it. So, like, as it was playing, I just had my head turned to Chara and was like, I am just talking so that I can't hear what's being said because I like to go into movies knowing nothing. Turns out the movie was absolutely terrible and I didn't care anyway. But it seemed weird to play a trailer for a movie I was about to watch.
That's wasted money. You're already there.
It wasn't a trailer. It was like a making of featurette thing.
Oh, I wasn't paying attention because I was turned and trying not to pay attention. It's still showing scenes from the movie I'm about to watch.
No, that's silly.
Especially since you made sure you didn't watch any trailers, any scenes, any stills.
Exactly.
Not allowed.
As for a YouTube video, for myself, I think I'd go with, like, if we're going to separate music videos and live performances, I'd go with live performances of bands. Because that's usually all I use YouTube for. That or, like, lessons for bass and that kind of stuff, or gear review.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense.
But live videos is probably...
Yeah, you've just made me realize what I would have to use it for. As, like, a homeowner or, like,
DIY.
a car owner.
I was
like,
just thinking DIY
how to fix
too.
things.
Yeah.
YouTube 100% is like,
Yeah.
I need to change a shower head. YouTube. And now I know how to change a shower head.
Yeah.
But you could also, like... Yeah, those would make more sense as videos. Because let's say you could just read the article or whatever it is. That's fine for recipes. But...
I just thought of the best YouTube channel, DIY videos with music over top. Therefore, you can listen to that song that you thought of. Yep. You'd have to have like 10 billion videos because it would be like shower repair to ABBA, but then also car repair to ABBA.
Yeah. So like every song ever made now, it just goes over like 1,000 other videos.
Yeah, there's got to be a robot that can do that for us.
That makes sense. There is some crazy thing about how, like, on YouTube, I think it's for every hour, there's like 3 years of content uploaded to YouTube. So you can handle it. Because that's about how much you'd have to put up is every song ever for every task ever. But yeah, like without DIY videos, I don't think I could run a house or do anything with my car or do basically anything. But that's such a boring thing to have. But luckily, in a relationship, only one of us has to have that.
Yeah.
So you can do that and I'll watch my movie clips.
Okay.
How to do a surgery.
When people die, the credits for all of their lives roll as if it was a 2-hour movie that showed all the big events. How many people's credits do you think you would make it into?
Like, here is Chara. She is the wife of Curt.
Yeah, so you'd be in mind for sure. Because basically, if everyone's lives was condensed down to a 2-hour movie, how many people do you think you're a big enough part of their life that you would make a scene in that movie?
I would be in a lot of people's as barista.
Yeah,
because they come like every other day for years.
Yeah, and
I've been their barista, and I'd be the last person on that list, but I'll be there.
Still there.
Yeah, there's definitely going to be a scene where they're at the coffee shop.
As long as they get coffee on a day that something really eventful happens.
But even if not, like, in their life, there'll be the part where they're older and going to the coffee shop.
Or
if it's a consistent part of their life.
I mean, what if they live an eventful life? You got to get that down to 2 hours.
That's true. Like, if it was Ben Stiller, there wouldn't be a scene where he was in a coffee shop. I don't know why I went with an actor. That just made this more confusing of a thing. I just assumed he has an interesting life. But...
Well, if it was an actor, it'd definitely be in a coffee shop, because that's where they read their scripts.
That makes sense. But, like, how many people do you serve that you think, yeah, a coffee shop would probably be a scene in their 2-hour movie of their life?
I don't know. They come in every day. It'd be like one of those montages. It's like... And now that her husband has passed, she comes to the coffee shop every day. Slowly and surely, she learns to love again through the smile of the barista. There we go.
So you think you would be in, like, hundreds of credits?
Yeah.
Wow. I was thinking like 7.
Yeah, I was thinking, like, some of the cousins, uncles and stuff, I don't think I'll make it in there. Probably in with the brothers and the parents.
Yeah. Brothers, parents, close friends.
I'm pretty sure every
grandparents.
family
High
member
school friends?
you're in.
Oh,
Yeah. I think that... So I'd say I'd go 20.
But here's the thing that you and I, and Alla as well, would have going for us, not as much Chara, is sports montages. I'd be in a lot of sports montages, either as someone on their team or as an opponent. There's probably some point where I played in a game against the person where it's like, okay, they're in their, like, 3-year rugby phase, and it shows them either getting beaten up because they're bad at it or they're really good at it or whatever. I've played enough sports with enough random people. I'm probably going to make it into some montages.
That's true.
Yeah, but you're not necessarily named. I know all of my customers' names.
That's true. Do you have to be named, or could you be rugby player 1 is you?
I think rugby player 1 counts in this. You're in the credits of it.
Okay.
Let's say you get a half person for that. You get a half person if you're unnamed in the credits, and a full person if you're named in the credits.
I'll be a lot of Michelle's that roll around.
Yeah, there'd be so many
So
Michelle's.
many misnamed.
Michelle.
But yeah, I think I'd make it into, like, through the sports would be some. My current job, I wouldn't make it into any, because, like, no construction person's credits has to do with the supplier. Like, there's way more interesting stuff happening on site.
And even if they do credit a supplier, it's not you.
Yeah. I'm also not around for a lot of children, and I think that's where you nail it, is if you're around people's kids. Like,
So if you were a delivery nurse.
No.
oh, yeah, delivery nurses would have
Every
this set.
baby.
fact-
Every baby would be like the nurse who
here
gave
you
the baby.
That's a good twist for this question, is who would be in the most people's credits, but I think you just nailed it with delivery nurses. Either delivery nurses or just doctors, because there'd always be a scene in the person's life where, like, they went to the doctor and it's like, oh no.
Life-saving
Not if they got
surgery.
hit by a car.
Yeah, I guess. But what if the doctor was driving the car?
Oh, a twist.
It's a twist. But yeah, I don't know. I think I'd be in, I'm going to say 120 peoples.
That's pretty good.
I'll say about 200.
Yeah, I'll go up to like 50 if we're adding sports and opponents in sports, possibly. Yeah.
Well, then I feel I should go up from 7. And I'll go
Yeah.
down maybe 30.
There you go.
I don't know what that says about us.
I feel like I need to go out and just make impacts in other people's lives so that I can get my name on those credits. I'm assuming there's some royalties involved.
I would assume so.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's how you get paid.
I think I just need to go to children's birthday parties. Just show up. There's always a scene with the kid's birthday party in the movie and the parents being like, yeah, you got one too. Oh.
I was thinking more like next career you could be a clown.
Oh, there you go. Kid's birthday party clown.
Terrify everybody.
Yeah.
Scar them.
Scar.
Oh, then you're a reoccurring character because you're the one who haunts their dreams.
Yeah.
I could do that.
Nightmares.
We found it.
Ha.
What do you think is the least valuable object, and the minimum size for this is something that's the size of a button?
A penny.
But a penny is more valuable than, say,
A hay penny.
a hate penny?
Hey penny, half a penny.
Oh, there you go. But, like, even not just like a penny, but, like, because that's still metal. It's still copper. There's still some value to it. Like, it's more valuable than a rock.
Yeah, I was going to say a rock. A little rock.
But, like, a rock you can still do something with. Like a little twig. Like driftwood.
Sometimes a little twig is handy if you gotta poke something out or scrape something out of your shoe.
Exactly. And that's the tough part in this question. Is there anything you can think of that is just, like, completely valueless?
What about plastic or something?
Wet tissue paper.
Yeah,
That's pretty good.
although
You can't do anything
you
with
can
it.
do like a spitball with it.
You could do a spitball with it. There's a use for it.
Fine.
A grape.
Mucus
Grapes are
filled.
delicious.
Filled.
Grape.
Grab.
Grape. It's not just wet, it's really gross. Nobody wants to touch it.
Yeah, but that I think increases its value.
Fine, a piece of poop.
Again, there's value to that.
How's there value in poo?
Fertilizer.
Yeah.
It can be used for a thing. There has to be a
What
thing.
about nuclear waste? You don't want that around.
That's true. If you had, because I think once you got a lot of nuclear waste, there's probably some value to it. But if you had a button-sized piece of, like, nuclear waste,
Yeah.
what was all the stuff in Chernobyl? Graphite.
Yeah.
The
That
graphite
stuff.
that soaks it up.
Don't want
Yeah,
that.
like super nuclear enriched graphite.
I prefer supular.
Supular. It's very supular.
It's pronounced nuclear.
But yeah, that's pretty good for something that small. I can't think of anything less
Well,
value.
think of what we want to get rid of in the world.
What about
we
a
not
button?
want.
I thought of a button. I'm like, I mean, you could use it for a shirt, but there's so many buttons.
Every shirt has 2 extra buttons.
Yeah, and I've never used any of those.
It's because people are just going to throw out a shirt over re-sewing buttons now.
But a button does have some value. What about, like, a piece of cereal? Just, like, one shreddy.
Oh, I'd take a shreddy over a penny any day.
But would you pay a penny for a shreddy?
Yeah.
Would you pay
If I just had a random penny, yeah, I would.
Okay, but you wouldn't pay $1 for 100 shreddies.
No,
No.
I wouldn't.
So there's, like, a break-even point on pennies for shreddies.
Yeah. Like 50 pennies, it's a lot of weight. And
You
so.
can't buy anything with pennies now. They won't take them.
Really?
I tried.
What did you try and buy with a
I
penny?
don't know. It was something that involved change, and I had exact change with my pennies.
They were
I
like,
said, nope,
get this out of
it's
here.
no good here.
Really? How many pennies was exact change in this scenario?
Oh, it was only like
2 or 3.
1 or 2 or something.
Wait, so they needed a nickel?
No, 1 or 2 you round
1 or
down,
2
3 or
pennies.
4 you round up.
Yeah, but what if something cost 2 cents?
Nothing costs 2 cents.
No.
Nothing even costs like 10 cents these days. I haven't tried to buy candy in a while, but I assume they're no longer 5 and 10 cents.
Yeah, I guess not.
I'm
Yeah.
assuming a quarter is a 5-cent candy.
Oh, but the quarters were the
Oh,
big
what?
ones.
No.
I know. Hey, I hate to be the bearer of bad news here. I'm pretty sure that's the
I
case.
don't believe
My
it.
Ruth is
I think we
McLuhan.
should we should
Go
get
find some.
rid of the nickel, get rid of the dime. Keep the quarters for now.
Why do we even have currency? Let's just stick to plastic.
Or the barter system.
Yeah, actually, lots of places like I think it's in England, 1 in 5, or maybe just London, 1 in 5 people do not carry cash anymore.
And now since they're
They're
Brexit,
contemplates.
Yeah, they're not even in the EU
maybe
right
they'll
now.
go back to their old.
Money
They never
toting
lose.
ways.
They never took the euro. They kept their pounds.
Yeah.
They had
Didn't they
euros
have-
too, though, didn't they?
Didn't they have other things that like half pennies,
Hey, pennies.
Half pence?
Half
pence?
pence. Pence are just
Yeah.
their way of saying pennies.
I thought of an answer for this question. The tab on the top of a pop tin or a beer can.
You can make
I was gonna-
art with that.
I was
Melts
going
it
to say a
down.
fingernail. Like a clipped off fingernail.
Clipped off. Ooh, but it could be someone's
Biodegradable.
DNA.
Oh, got it. Easy. Belly button lint.
Ah.
You have a button-sized piece of belly button lint.
Fire starter.
You get one classic cartoon sound effect when you do a certain action. Which do you pick?
Bring! Like
you
when
do what?
you punch something and it goes brrrr,
What?
like a springy noise.
When you punch something and it does a springy noise?
It sounded like you made a phone ringing noise.
I was thinking the same
It
thing.
sounds like every time the phone calls, it sounds like a phone.
And that's
Okay.
a punch?
I found out as I was going there that I can't make the sound effect I was thinking of. But like, you know,
Boing.
Like broing.
yeah, kind of like a bring, but not a phone. Anyways, next person, let's move along here.
I can only hear a phone.
You know when you punch someone and the phone rings?
Yeah, exactly. Get a good handle on the
You know
situation.
that whistle? Stop. Ooh.
Oh, the slide whistle?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's good.
I like
Okay.
that. I like that noise. Something like that.
What about the ukulele noise that's between each segment? of the
Yeah.
There you go. That's not a cartoon noise.
Oh, right.
But what would your slide whistle go when you did? Like when you
I'm
did?
trying to think of a action.
Whenever you enter a room?
No, that'd be so annoying.
Every time you walk through a door, it's like, you would literally find the least adored path to everywhere you went.
Yeah, I know something where like it happens rarely. Maybe like once a day to once a week it happens. So maybe someone calls me. Because no one ever calls me.
Yeah, when your phone rings,
But then it'd
but
be
then
a
you could just say your
ringtone.
ringtone is a slide whistle. Yeah.
I know, I thought of that after. You brought up the phone.
No, I didn't mean to.
Yeah. Everyone's on phones now.
Um,
I thought everyone picked the same answer, but I would want the doo doo, doo 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 every time I sneaked or snuck. I want to be sneaking on my tippy toes and doo doo.
But that's more of a theme than a sound effect.
That's a sound effect. I think the
Because then you could have the Jaws theme. Like
Doo,
whenever you're sneaking up on someone.
doo.
but then everyone would know you're there being snuck up on.
Yeah, but you would like that because you
Yeah.
hate when people sneak up on you. I never actually sneak up on people. If you sneak up on someone, it's always as a joke.
Yeah, see, it would help the joke.
And then people would know. If there was ever a crime and they'd be like, well, the victim was stabbed in the back, they'd be like, well, Curt can't do it because he can't sneak. I'd just like walk in the courtroom and they'd be like, doo doo, doo 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 doo. Okay, it definitely was not this guy.
Eminem.
Can you imagine having to solve crimes? It's like, who here makes a noise ring when you punch someone?
Sorry, it's not me.
We had the audio recording of, hey, what are you doing? Bring! Must have been Alex.
No, it's not me. I only go boom pow.
Boom pow. I probably shouldn't have asked this question with a group of people who can't do sound effects.
I have a new serious answer though. I want the wah wah.
Oh, yeah.
Whenever I make a mistake or whatever.
Yeah, whenever you screw something up.
Or a bad joke or
A
something.
bad yeah, exactly.
No, that'd probably be better for me.
Wah, wah.
Yeah, I do like that, like the downbeat.
Yeah.
What would you
It's
call
like it's a muted trumpet, I think.
Oh, trombone.
Yeah, that's what
Or
it is.
is it a muted
Oh, I don't
trombone? Yeah. Charlie Brown sound effect thing.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
I know what action can help me decide what sound. So the action is when you're walking somewhere and someone's in your way and you sidestep, but they also sidestep. And you sidestep again and they sidestep again.
Some kind of Frogger soundtrack.
Oh, you got swim move in that situation.
Yeah.
Yeah, just one hand on, then push them aside, and then go around.
Yeah, but what's the sound effect when that happens?
Yeah,
so fast.
a whoosh.
But cartoony, so it has to be funny.
I kind of almost think of like the Pink Panther thing of like you try to go once and go doo-doo. Then he goes back the other way. Doo-doo. 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 And then he went past me. Da-da-da-da-da, as he walked away.
Oh, that's
Yeah, because
nice.
you would end up like turned and facing each other and then separate. You know?
Yeah, because as soon as that music played, you would start going to the music.
Mm-hmm.
I like that. Yeah, that's a good scenario to have.
It doesn't happen too often, but when it does, it's always funny, so let's add something.
Yeah, whenever
to
you're
it.
trying to get on someone's way. Yeah.
I work in Sydney now, so like when I'm walking to the coffee shop, I have to dodge walkers and scooters and stuff.
Yeah.
So it's never really a concern for me anymore that they're going to move.
Mm.
Because they're old and their reaction times are poor.
Makes sense.
You know you're going to be going all the way.
Yeah.
It's like, just keep your pace, I'll walk around you. Don't
Yeah.
worry.
You know what I would like? I would like to be able to mimic hitting a horn and then get the awooga sound effect. So like if I'm like at a four-way stop or a crosswalk and someone just blazes by, goes awooga and like honk at them from standing still and just hit like an invisible air horn.
That's a good sound effect.
Or like a choo-choo.
Just
Yeah, like I want a choo-choo noise, but when I
when you pull down an imaginary
pull
cable.
imaginary cable.
So whenever you pull an imaginary cable, choo choo.
Right
Okay,
before
so
you start to run.
Yeah, or just like, so like, because I can't whistle loud, but I need someone's attention. I just go,
That would be pretty good. And if you're like playing football, yeah, right before the play started, you look at the guy across from you and you go, choo choo. Yeah, oh yeah, if it just made train noises when you ran.
yes! I want it when I run, it's chain noises.
I think I can. I think I can.
As per season 2, we're going to try and get you guys to figure out what the root of an expression is. Our expression this week is hands down.
Hands down.
Yeah, what's the root of the expression hands down?
Well, I think it begins with the hands up.
Okay.
Okay. And then the natural conclusion to that is your hands being down.
Okay. So someone was robbing a bank and everybody hands up.
Yeah, and then the robber's gone, they've got the money, and it's like, whew, hands down, that was the worst experience of my life.
Okay.
Yeah, I like it. So it started like with Wild West days, when they started doing the bank robberies and stuff
Yeah.
like that.
So like
Billy
hands,
the Kid.
so hands down was really like, this is the time to reflect on how bad the other thing was. So like whenever your hands are down, it's like hands down, things are better now.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Oh.
Interesting. Not correct, but interesting.
What is the expression?
There's something from war and battles.
Most expressions are
Most
from war and battles.
Yeah, like the whole 9 yards.
I will give you a hint that this one is not from a war or a battle.
Oh.
All right. So you measure horses in hands, right?
Okay.
And a very good horse has at least 18 hands. Sure.
As we know.
As we know.
Yes, okay.
And when it's 18 hands, it's called a down. That's down.
That's how football works, don't you know?
Yeah. So a hands down, which is obviously the best, is like that is the 18 hands is a down best horse. Therefore, hands down, it's an 18-hand tall horse.
Okay, so I'm going to try and translate that a little bit. So you're saying that the ideal length for a horse is
No height.
Oh, height. Oh, I thought you were talking length.
That's a really
that's
tall
ridiculous.
horse.
That's ridiculous.
Okay, sorry, my mistake. So the ideal height for a horse is 18 hands tall.
Yeah.
And if you get one that's like 19 hands, you're like, not quite. Or 17, not quite. 18, you're like, hands down, this horse is going to be
Yeah,
fast.
because 18
Because
is
it
a
matches
down.
the down.
Matches the down.
Got it. And like, if he's got long fur, then you're like, hands down, furlong.
Yeah.
Got it. Okay.
Maybe it's from a man named Hans.
Okay.
His last name is Down,
Okay, hands down. He was some German guy.
and he's very successful
Yeah, so it was like,
He is.
yeah, so
He is.
you want to be like hands down, like
Yes.
hands down.
Hands down, that was a good pizza. That's not really how you say it, is it?
It's how it's become. Because it used to be, if you wanted to be successful, you'd cry it like, hands down. Like people say, Jesus Christ in anger. But this is hands down in
Hands
success.
down.
Okay. So I want to say, I definitely really liked Ella's. Mm-hmm. And I thought Alex's was creative. Mm-hmm. And the most surprising thing of all is Chara is somewhat close to this. In that it is related to racing horses.
Yeah. I mean, as soon as you started talking about how they measured horses in hands, I was like, oh, maybe there's something to that.
So, hands down, what it actually is when a horse is running a race by a wide margin, because jockeys always have their hands up on the
Reins?
reins. When they're winning by a large margin, the jockey can put his hands down. They're like, oh, he won that race hands down, because he stopped like doing the horse thing and he just put his hands down on the horse. So it's an old jockey term from I think like the early 1900s or maybe late 1800s.
Cool.
Jockeys are short.
Well, it depends. Are they like 7 hands then on an 18 hands horse?
That's a really tall horse, I think. I think that's like Trojan horse size.
I don't know how many hands a
My
horse
hands aren't
is.
that big.
I guess it depends on a hand.
Yeah.
Is it like a foot that's 12 inches? Are hands the same?
No, they're not.
No,
are
hands
not
I think
feet.
are like 6 inches.
Always assumed they
I thought it was
do it
this
side
way,
by
yeah.
side. And it's always the man's hand, so it's like 1.5 of mine.
I just want to see the card.
That's 10.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's 10.
Horses are taller than that.
I just want to see the
And it's all
cartoon
the way
now
to their,
where
like,
some
shoulders.
German guy named Hands Down goes to rob a convenience store and everyone's got their hands up and then they put their hands down and then he jumps onto a horse that he's measured with his hands and then he wins the race by a mile.
There we go.
That's hands down the best scenario I've ever heard of.
Hands down, hands down, hands down, hands down.
And of course the racetrack was called Hands Down.
Yes.
Because they call them down sometimes.
Exactly.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah, I like it.
Hands down and hands down. Doing hands down.
Put your hands
sounds.
down.
Yeah, on his horse, hands down.
There we go.
Nailed it. That's exactly where that expression came from. Outro. Outro.
Outro.
Outro. Good job, Chara. Thanks for listening to another episode of the On Pointless podcast. Hope you had fun. Between those segments, we actually looked it up, and a large horse is 18 hands tall, so
Draft
Yay.
horse.
they nailed their measurements.
Hands down, great horse measurements.
Fantastic
Probably
horse measurements.
Too big of a horse for racing.
If you enjoyed our horse facts, please tell a friend and get them to listen. Always looking for new listeners to the On Pointless podcast. Thanks a lot. Bye now.
Bye-bye.
So long.
Hands down.